Alright guys, welcome back, and it turns out we're only doing the trivia giveaways. My streamer, I was just telling you guys how awesome he was. He was just telling me we aren't doing the giveaways except on games that don't result in a tie. That way we can make sure it goes for the whole event. Either way, we're going into game number 2. It's going to be, or game number 3. It's going to be Iron Fortress. It's going to be on Iron Fortress, 4-player map, Zerg vs. Terran. What are your initial predictions here, Paladin?
Well, it's hard to really take anything away from game 2 just because Bunny did that weird build where he didn't do any harassment on Hydra, let him do whatever he wanted, and then Hydra showed up with a million roaches and a million banelings and a ton of creep spread and crushed him. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think we could take away anything from that. It was just a weird decision by Bunny. I don't think he did anything wrong except maybe choose the wrong strategy, if that makes any sense. So I think Bunny is going to go right back on to the better harassment type options on the Zerg player, kind of slow things down, don't allow the swarm to get as big as it did, and we'll see a much different game here on Iron Fortress.
Yeah, well, here on the bottom left-hand side of Iron Fortress, in the red Zerg trunks, representing Team Root, it's none other than Hydra!
And in the top right of Iron Fortress, the latter edition, in the blue trunks, sporting the very happy to be here StarCraft's logo, it is LiquidBunny.
So speaking of StarCrafts, have you actually played that mod yet? It's pretty darn good.
It's super fun. I mean, you can only get the tier 1 units right now, so it's like go Marines all day, but it's really kind of interesting to play in such a cartoony environment. I know StarCraft isn't like super hyper realistic. There's some kind of artistic elements here, but in just like Saturday morning cartoon StarCraft 2, watching stuff die and the way the Zerglings kind of lick stuff to death is just hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of like old sand, what are the basically, you know, whenever you're developing a game, you only put in like a couple of units while you test out certain mechanics. What is it called? A sandbag? Is that what it's called?
Not sandbox.
Strawman? Something? Strawman?
I don't know. I don't develop.
Yeah, ragdolls. Ragdolls. Either way, I don't know. But it's kind of just like playing with ragdolls all over again, dude. Anyways, we are seeing basically the same opener from Hydra. That's one thing about Hydra. His play varies quite a bit. You know, he could pull out any strategy, but his openers, usually, he's got 2 or 3 good ones that he likes to stick to. Bunny, he mixes it up a little bit more. Looks like, well, no gas right now out of Bunny. There we go. Little bit later, he wanted to make a liar out of me. But basically, this is going to mean he's got the faster command center. Does he choose to go for a slower Reaper? Probably not. Does he go for mech? Does he go for bio? We haven't seen any mech play out of him, but mech, as a Zerg player, how do you feel about it?
I hate it. I'm going to be blunt. Mech as a Zerg player in Heart of the Swarm is so brutal to try and stop. Everything Mech has is just super cost efficient. The Hellbats soak up all my Zerglings. The Thors take down my Roaches and my Mutalisks. I mean, it's just super difficult to deal with. And I'm a little surprised that LiquidBunny hasn't gone there yet this game, but I suppose there is still time for him here in game number 3.
And how about since Swarm Hosts got deleted? Did that increase your love for Mech at all?
Oh, that's the other thing. I mean, prior to the Swarm Host nerf, you just went Swarm Host, and the game lasted 3 hours, and you had a pretty good chance of winning. But now that Swarm Hosts are pretty much useless in Heart of the Swarm, I haven't seen any pros use them in matches no matter what. Then, yeah, you're just pretty much left with... use them. It would be something that cats would do, right? Cats would do that, and probably make it work, but... Yeah, I mean, Mech here by LiquidBunny might be actually a pretty strong decision. Have you seen Hydra go up against Mech before in a recent tournament? Has that something been seen or something you've seen?
Yeah, actually, dude, I just did a crash course on how Hydra handles Mech.
Oh, perfect.
He's really good at it, but what he does is he scouts it a lot ahead of time. And typically when he starts scouting, it's around this time, around 5.5 to 6 minutes. And what he'll do is he'll just jump straight to Spire. It's really beautiful, really fast Spire play. But this is a big map. It might be hard to get that read. And that's going to make it even better for Mech, in my opinion. Because, you know, on this big map, you can consolidate a Mech force. Mech really needs the 5th and 6th gas to do something. Hold that thought. These Lings are going to get in here. There's not much here to defend. Will it get this Mule, the SCVs? Oh, yes, the Marine's going to pop out just in the nick of time. But this SCV, oh, nope, not going to get it. And
no, fantastic. Yeah, just the marine control here from Bunny is amazing. Nothing dies to those Zerglings. Oh, they can't even get into the main. The supply depot lifts up. The Hellions roast them. The Zerglings were so happy to get that run by, and then they didn't do anything, poor guys.
So you know all that theory crafting we did regarding how mech would be good on this map?
Yeah.
Stim pack.
So hold that thought. Maybe we'll see it in a later game because we're not seeing it now. Good catch. So Roach Horn coming in up now for Hydra. He did get a pretty actually decent scout off into the main. He saw what was at the top of the ramp at least for Bunny. Overlord ready to scout in as well, fully walling off there at the natural. And a third base. Yep, there we go. Third base coming up for Hydra. Very, very smart. A bunch of roaches in production. Going to move across, see what harassment they can do at the front door. Try to deal with these Hellions that are out and about.
You know, Bunny is actually striking me. I've never had this comparison until I was actually in-game casting him in real life. He strikes me as like a sloppier version of Maru. That's not to say he's sloppy, but just, you know, Maru's like on point. Whereas Bunny's got a little mistake here or a little mistake there, but they've got really similar playstyles. Ooh, bad, ouch.
That did not go well. I guess it makes sense, though. The Zerg player won on the giant Zerg logo on the middle of the map like that, but either way, all those Hellions are now dead, and the Roaches are pushing up, and Bunny, I don't know how you respond to this as a Terran player.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. It's Roach Lings, though. He wants Widow Mines, but again, Bunny has consistently really skipped the Widow Mines or delayed them in favor of faster barracks. That actually could be enough to punish him here. We'll see how the micro comes down, because Hydra doing a great job staying just out of range of the majority of these Marines, and it's going to cost Bunny a supply depot. There is the supply block as well, and he's got a little bit until he's going to be out of that block. He is only just now starting a depot.
Oh, there we go. Outside of the block just barely, though. 72 out of 73, but look at that. It's 67 to 45 Harvesters in favor of Hydra right now. I mean, he hasn't been harassed at all. The Hellions came out. They got cleaned up by the Roaches. He's been able to drone so happily on 3 bases for 9 minutes and 22 seconds now, getting a full scout off with the Overlord. I just don't know. Bunny's going to have some amazing Marine splits, some amazing Widowmine hits, but he is in danger for sure from this point on.
What it really comes down to me, my fear for Bunny is it's 10 minutes in the game. Where's his third? He's just now starting it. He's floating it over now, but how does he hold it? We're about to get a good read off with this Zergling that's patrolling around, and Hydra's got a much, much larger army here. And there's no map control for Bunny. He has no Hellions, no Widow Mines, no ability to contest Hydra out on this really open plain.
And look at this creep spread. It's almost up to the Swarm logo, heading on in close to that Xel'Naga watchtower, and that's just what happens when queens are left alone to spread their creep, nothing killing their precious creep tumors. The map hacks are in, so much vision is available for the Zerg player, and hold that thought because there are Widow Mines in the third base, but they get cleaned up pretty much immediately. How many drones were lost? 2 drones have been lost in this game for Hydra. Really not worth it for sure.
Yeah, he was trying to be tricksy there, but, you know, those Widow Mines could have actually helped him out here in this attack. But, again, it all comes down to, can Bunny lock himself into a corner like Terran likes to do on an open space like that? No, he needs to create that corner with supply depots, and once the supply depots force the Zerg units to clump like they are here, you see it. Widow Mines kick in, but the Widow Mines weren't there. They were at the third.
And that's it with a huge Roach push at the natural. Bunny calls the GG. Hydra is victorious and does take a 2-1 lead after dropping game 1.
Yeah, man. I like Bunny. I like his play, but Hydra just has this game sense, man. And Bunny's trying to mix it up and play the unorthodox, but he needs to go back to what he did in game number 1. Standard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's worried about. He did so well with those Reapers and the Hellions in the early part of game 1, and then was able to actually pull it out in the mid to late game of that same game, and he just kind of totally switched it up, says, I'm not going to do hardly any harass whatsoever, and then it's like he's surprised when the Zerg Swarm shows up at his front door with 100 million roaches and just burns him down. It's interesting.
Yeah, and again, I just want to reiterate something I said just a moment ago. Terran, think of your prototypical Terran versus Zerg, okay? That's the Marines and the tanks. The AoE of the tanks is really what protects the Marines. The Marines protect the tanks from the Mutalisks. Well, the only way that tanks are good is if the units clump up. We saw the Roach line before when he was in that engagement, not last game, but the game before that, that those units, because they weren't clumped up, you know, they weren't killed off as easily, and he actually ultimately lost the battle. Well, the same is true of Widow Mines as far as clumping goes. So if you're going to take a third, you need to have some supply depots there, something to funnel these units in, and once they're funneled, something to punish that.
Absolutely true. All right, so this does end in a 2-1. So do we want to do another giveaway, Shaft?
Yes, we do. And apparently there's an issue with the stuff on Team Liquid. But I'm going to work on that. So after the giveaway, we're going to go to like a 2-minute break because Team Liquid's important, guys.
All right.
Okay, so I'm back. For the sake of the people that just joined the stream, my name is Grimley, and welcome to our trivia giveaway. Tonight's giveaway sponsor is SC2ReplayStats.com. It's a really cool website that helps new players get better. So here's how this works. I'm going to post the trivia question that's down here in the chat, and the first person to get the answer right wins a premium count, good for 1 month. And so here's the question, and good luck to the winner. Or good luck to everyone.
If the only tool you have is a hammer, then every problem looks like a nail. It's time to start using the right tool for the job. Introducing SC2ReplayStats.com. They have the best replay parser out there with thousands of uploads whose build orders and timings are stored to help you find out how you stack up against others in your division. Or if you're a data nerd like me, analyze your favorite pros games so you can be awesome too. After all, how do you think Crash Course got started? My favorite feature is hands down the Training Center. It's got all the most important statistics like when to get your third, how many drones to make, and even how badly you're missing injects. They explain key focus points individualized to your matches and playstyle that will help you get to that next level. For only $5 a month, SC2 Replay Stats is more than worth it. Go thank them for supporting esports by getting better today.
Are you tired of always lagging when it matters most? VPN technology can help by allowing your connection to bypass congestion on routes of any number of private networks located near your game server, further reducing unnecessary ping times.
Speed, stability, security.
What the fast?